Is the Serbian government doing enough to create good conditions for global players, but also for local players? And how do they offer the package, the whole package? Do they make Serbia an attractive place for both sides?
Yeah, I think that Serbian government is just doing great. I see, we operate, Confindustria is present in most of Eastern European countries, and so I can talk to my colleagues in different states. So I see that Serbia is really attracting, so it's really making the difference here. Serbia has also a position that is strategic, and so many companies they come here because of a fantastic market, first of all, but they can easily access then markets like Russia, Turkey, because of the bilateral agreement that Serbia has. So, and this is a job that the government has done.
Do they really use those bilateral agreements?
Yeah,
with Russia in particular, and with Russia?
They are. If you see, Italy is a major producer of socks. Here in Serbia, I think we employ something like 10,000 people here only in the socks.
Socks industry.
Socks industry, yeah. We have some very, very big players here.
Very good.
And if you check what are the commodities that are exported to Russia, the socks are one of the major ones. And along with apples that were imported from Italy, planted here in Serbia, and now they are exported into Russia. So those are bilateral agreements that the governments had made with all these important markets. You know better than me the Turkish market, how important it is.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And do you feel that all obstacles have been removed, or is there still a way to go?
No, there is still way to go. There is still way to go. It has improved, as I was mentioning, my gray hair at the beginning. So it has been a lot has been done, but there is still a long way to go. You were mentioning the stamps. I was always joking about the dictature of the stamp here in Serbia, which still exists. You have some islands in the Serbian bureaucracy where the stamp is still required. So especially when it comes to custom procedures. So we are talking about Industry 4.0, but we still have custom procedures that are dating back 70 years.
No, I don't know if it's true, but I read of this regulation that you have to register an email address at APR, at APR, it's the commercial register, which is fair enough. Email address, everybody should have it. But to register your email address, you have to go there. I don't know if that's true or not, but it just sounds absurd, because that doesn't make any sense. But as far as I can see, there's still things to improve. Obviously, less bureaucracy means that you have more time for sales. I would like to move into the impact of the commercial aspect of the sales part. I would like to ask Dragana, how do you structure, develop, scale, measure your sales for your company in Serbia? How much do you sell? Is it, I assume you're profitable, but is it enough? Is there room for improvement, and how to improve it?
Yeah, there is room to improve, and actually this is closely connected with the previous question. Actually, government plays the most important role, and I have to say that they did really a great job in recent years. For example, from 2016, they included the new model. They call it special models. They're recognized as managed entry agreements, so that is a kind of benefit risk between state and pharma companies, and the main aim was actually to provide and to make innovative drugs available. Now we are looking for a new model. It's pay per performance. So again, if drug doesn't work as it is expected, then pharma industry will cover the costs. But for that, many things are needed. Digitalization, hospital registers, following of outcome of treatment, which really will ease the lives not only for patients, but also physicians and payers, of course. But there is a room for improvement, a huge one, and it goes very, very slow.
And your area is highly regulated. The
Highly
pharmaceuticals
regulated, yeah, highly regulated, and all companies, Roche especially, we have that holistic approach. So we are far beyond of the, seller of drugs. We are really trying to help digitalization. We are really trying to transfer all our knowledge and expertise. We are involving physicians in worldwide scientific communities through clinical trials, and we are very respected in those clinical trials and relevant many things really. And also, it is also good for Serbia because beyond, better salaries, but those healthcare workers who are expected, everyone would like to have in their countries. So if they are recognized as experts here and they have opportunity to raise that whole thing, then that will be even one more reason why they will stay here.
Ivo, I would like to talk about your commercial development. You're tightly connected to the customer as a mobile phone operator. How is the Serbian economy affecting your pricing? We still have, on many, many levels in Serbia, rather low salaries. The consumer doesn't yet have the power to spend as much as he wants. Yet still many people have a feeling that telecom services are rather expensive on the general level, not only from one single company, but you still have to pay quite a lot of money for internet connection all over the world, not only here. How do you scale the Serbian customer? How do you come to the price that you offer him?
Yeah, we use a little different approach than ROCHE. Of course, we have these traditional channels where you approach the customers in our stores, but we also try to use more innovative digitalizing data analytics approaches. First, we're trying to digitalize ourselves within, and then we're trying to digitalize the customer experience. From the very reactive approach, we are going more in the proactive approach. By using data analytics and artificial intelligence, we are monitoring and we're trying to forecast the customer needs, and we try to catch the customer before his contract expires. We're trying to analyze some of the devices that the customers are using to see when that of device, maybe the insurance will run away, or the guarantee period, or maybe the device will be broken down. And by using this data analytics and artificial intelligence, we can be very proactive into acquiring the customer, keeping him, and potentially doing a little upselling products. That is very challenging. I agree with the economy, the state of the economy that Serbia is. I must say that people in general around the world do believe that internet should come for free from God. But in reality, somebody has to invest in that infrastructure. People love using WhatsApp and Viber because it's for free, you pay $0. And then every time the call drops, or the call, you cannot hear the person on the other end, you don't complain to anybody. When you use a voice call on your mobile, and even if you have the slightest problem with the network, you immediately try to call the operator, stay online for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and try to complain. But somebody has to invest in that infrastructure. And if it's not us who invest, you're not going to get WhatsApp and Viber, nor are you going to get Facebook nor Google. Because they do have some experimental trials in the United States, but they're yet to be proven if they're going to work, or are they going to invest in this region. And if they do, it will be 2035 probably.
Well, if they expect God to pay here, then probably they expect Mr. Trump to pay in the United States.
Well, if we compare prices in the United States, they're around $100 compared to what is paid in Serbia. And that is why the telcos value in the United States are higher than any other telcos. So the challenge is there, I agree. I think the future is more into services, not in connectivity. Believe that telcos will be an important role in the whole world of connectivity of everything. But we are very much focused now on providing better services for the customer to retain them and also to attract more customers.
I love challenging my panelists, so I will do it for you as well, to see how well you know the market. Why do Serbian people prefer Viber to WhatsApp? Do you have an answer?
Viber was first in this region before WhatsApp. If you go Latin America, everything is WhatsApp. But now it's coming. Signal, then Telegram. So there are many of these who people always talking. One is more secure than the others. Don't talk on WhatsApp. They're listening to you. Don't check on Viber. They're checking
you
your
always
messages.
get the answer here. No, I don't have WhatsApp. I use Viber. Then you need to switch from green to purple. So I was just wondering.
If just one comment you mentioned on security standards on my previous question, if you send SMS on my network, I can guarantee you security. Anything on WhatsApp and Viber, I cannot guarantee.
We come to that in the next panel. I would like to ask Vladimir, how do you price your cookies? How do you go about? You as a local regional company, you obviously have a lot of data, a lot of long experience. Cookies were priced differently before the 90s than after the 90s. How do you go about it?
This market is so competitive. And just take a look at what's happened in the last year. You got Coca-Cola investing, you got PepsiCo investing. So we're talking about a market which is probably the most dynamic. At the same time, you have one of the local investors out of Cyprus purchasing more than 20% of Crush in Croatia. We know that Fortanova at some point in time, which is ex-Agrokor in Croatia, will be sold. Buttering parts are, as a single going concern, it's not likely it will be sold in bundle, but most likely the parts will be sold on a separate basis. So we're talking about next year, the year after. So we're talking about probably the most competitive market. Lady Yana from Nestlé knows it. People from Mondelez know it. Coca-Cola people know it. PepsiCo people know it. Everybody knows it. That's why the companies, I think, in this specific industry, like FMCG, but let's say confectionery or food in general, are among the best in the whole region. When you look at the quality of the businesses, when you look at the penetration of the business, when you look at the marketing practices, these are already, even if they're local or regional like we are already on the level very close to multinationals, which is extremely difficult. You look at the pricings which are achieved in sales of those companies. So when it comes to pricing, the pricing is primarily based on what you can achieve on the market. But at the same time, the crucial element is being innovative. When on the government level you're talking about how to structure things, first you have to stabilize, which we did. We stabilized, the government stabilized the fiscal segment. Then we pushed investments. Yes, in the beginning these were investments in labor-intensive industries. Now they're investments in which are a little bit more sophisticated industries. But when this stops, then we talk about business environment. Business environment is not just administrative procedures. It is our digital segment. But to a large extent, it's creating an environment which is conducive to innovation. We will not be able to compete with Mondelez, with Coca-Cola, with PepsiCo, with Nestlé, if we're not innovative. If we are not innovative, none of our products will be able to be sold and will be reduced to efficiency. Efficiency means low cost, full automation, deleting all the segments of the products which are value added, and that is something which we don't want. We want to create value for the customers. That requires to be innovative. That's why we permanently invest. And I have to say that even in industries which are ripe like coffee, where we have, I would say, dominant market share in Serbia, together with Strauss, we're close to 80%. We've invested this year. The government recognized our, I would say, wish to concentrate certain products in Serbia and to supply the whole regional market from there. And within 3 months, we received support funds. We participated in more than 50 of these kind of programs throughout Europe, mostly in the region. Never so far have we been so efficient. So in some aspects, the government has become very efficient in that sense. In other aspects, it still has a long way to go. But without moving one, there will be no way when you move the second one. So when you say how we price, innovative products, we will always price higher. When you say to Cocktail right now, Cocktail is a product which is not innovative. It's an old product. But it's made purely from the vegetables, from the fruit. It doesn't have any artificial flavoring. Its price position right now is above Coca-Cola. That's what we want. That's how we perceive the product. And we have rise in sales upon the relaunch of close to 40% in the HoReCa segment within 3 months. So There is a possibility if you offer the market something which is innovative. And that's, I think, the key word for everything.
Yana, what did you think the first time when you tasted Cocktail? If you ever tasted it.
I tasted it, but you know, that reminded me the product I knew many years ago somewhere in Russia. It was based on herbs and other stuff, so I know the product.
Herbal lemonade. Herbal lemonade.
Yeah, something was connected with the taste of herbs. What I will say that I wanted to say that this innovation and what consumers value, I would like to say that Serbian consumers are very, very well educated. How they interact with the label, how they deeply understand what you put in your product, because our mission as Nestlé to be as clear as we can. Because it's about talking about the responsibility. So people would like to know what is in their food. And this is a very fair question. So we as Nestlé, we not only work a lot in terms of working on the recipes, because Serbia is not the biggest market, but people have their taste preferences, so you need to be relevant for the consumers with the taste. But what I think it's really impressive, how consumers are educated. People would like to look on the label and they would like to see what is inside the food. So we as Nestlé have a mission to train consumers. We are trying to be as clear as we can and as clean as we can with the label to satisfy the demand on the taste, but to educate consumers as well. And bridge to this, I will say, apart from offering this high quality product and with a very clear explanation, what is it inside this pack? Because consumers, they have a right to know. We do a big job, which is probably not many people in this audience now know, but we do have a very big program which we call United for Healthy Kids. It's a global program where we train all the kids. We invested in the last 5 years over 1 million. We're training the kids what does it mean, how to eat healthily. Because our state of health is connected to what we eat. And it's purely educational when we explain kids how much proteins you need to see. You see, I will train you. How much proteins you take, how much vegetables you need to take on a daily consumption in a very easy way. For sure, we use a lot of technology because, you know, kids now are very good, so they're so digitally savvy. So for us, it's now becoming very efficient. Before, we were going to school, talking to all the teachers, presenting what does it mean, a good eating habits. It's disconnected to the brand. It's connected to a good eating habits. We would like to contribute to growing healthy generation. But I'm very happy that we now have the technology, because with technology, we can do it much, much faster.
Well, still, you know, you need to explain to the kids not to eat ROCHE and plasma anymore. So that's a tough job.
I would say the most important thing to equip the kids how to make a responsible choice. Yes. What does it mean to eat, and on this way